My lovely mother-in-law gifted me a German cookbook a little while ago now, and it's got some really lovely recipes in it, and one of them I've made quite a few times, and it's for a carrot cake. But it's not like your decadent carrot cake with coconut and pineapple and nuts and everything on it. It's a simple carrot cake with a simple lemon glaze, but it's really delicious. It's almost healthy with only a small amount of sugar, but best of all, it's just got a beautiful texture and it's so easy to make and super easy to eat. And this is how it goes. So the first thing to do is preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius with a fan or 160 degrees without a fan. The recipe calls for 400 grams of finely grated carrots. So what I do is I weigh 500 grams and then I peel them and remove the ends and grate them, and I'm left with about 400 grams, close enough. So when you grate them, don't use that big setting, use a smaller one. And once you've grated your carrots, the rest is really quick. Next thing I do is just mix the dry ingredients, which is 400 grams of almond meal, 50 grams of corn flour or cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix it together and set it aside. Then into a large bowl, place 6 whole eggs. So I might put 18 PowerPoints in this kitchen, we're still renovating, but none in the island bench. And using an electric beater, beat these until they're fluffy for a few minutes. And you'll need 200 grams of white sugar or caster sugar, and just add a little bit at a time and mix well between additions. And it'll be lovely and thick. Then add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and mix that in. And using a spatula, fold in the almond meal that the baking powder and cornstarch has been added to. And lastly, fold in the grated carrots, and you can see they're really finely grated. And they sort of just dissolve into the cake, giving it a really lovely texture. And once that's folded through, time to put it in the tin. You can use any sort of cake tin. Make sure it's greased properly and lined if you can. I'm using a springform pan today, and this is 10 inches, 26 centimetres in diameter. Pour the mixture into the tin. And because the carrots are so finely grated, the mixture turns almost orange. Just lift it up and drop it gently to remove any air bubbles, and put that in your oven for 40 minutes. So I actually left this in the oven for 5 minutes longer, 45 minutes, and it will feel quite fluffy from all the eggs, but if you take a skewer and put it in, it should come out clean. So all I do now is leave it in the tin on a wire rack to cool completely, and then I'll remove it and ice it. And while the cake is cooling, make a really simple 2-ingredient lemon icing. About 80 grams of icing sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And just stir it until most of the lumps have gone. Now I just have to wait for the cake to completely cool. Time to eat the cake. I decided my icing was a little bit runny, so I'm just going to add a little bit more icing sugar. And unfortunately, this is the lumpy icing sugar, so I'll just sift a bit in. That's a bit better. The cake's been at room temperature now for about an hour. And it's still pretty fresh, so I'll leave it on the base. And this cake actually keeps well in the fridge, or you could leave it out, but look at that. Right, I'll cut a slice. So the cake has sunk just slightly in the middle, and that's what always happens with it. And it's very fresh. But I'll do my best to cut a slice. And this one keeps well for nearly a week. You can leave it in the fridge and it will definitely keep for a week. I really need to invest in a cake slider. But the crumb on that cake is delicious. One for Mike, one for the thumbnail, and this one for me with a nice cup of tea. I hope you give this recipe a go. It's really delicious. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.